Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you this flowering tree called cherry blossom. Once again, it's time of the year wherein this tree blooms with so much flower in it. A cherry blossom is a flower of many trees of genus Prunus or Cerasus. They are also known as Japanese cherry and sakura. They generally refer to ornamental cherry trees, not to cherry trees that produce fruit for eating. It is considered the national flower of Japan. While the species of cherry tree are widely distributed mainly in the northern hemisphere, in the mainstream classification in Europe and North America, cherry trees for ornamental purposes are classified into the genus Prunus, which consists of about 400 species. In the mainstream classification in Japan, China, and Russia, on the other hand, ornamental cherry trees are classified into the genus Cerasus, which consists of about 100 species separated from the genus Prunus. In Europe and North America, however, there were not many wild cherry trees with many large flowers suitable for cherry blossom viewing. Many of them were different from the typical cherry tree shapes and flowers for cherry blossom viewing that people today imagine. In mainland China, there has been a culture of viewing plum blossoms since ancient times, and there were many wild species of cherry blossoms, but many of them had small flowers. And the distribution area of wild species of cherry blossoms, which bore large flowers suitable for hanami, was often limited to a small area away from the people's living areas. On the other hand, in Japan, Prunus speciosa or Ushima cherry and Prunus yaezakura, which bloom large flowers suitable for cherry blossom viewing and tend to become large trees, were distributed in a fairly wide area of the country and close to people's living areas. Therefore, it is considered that the culture of viewing cherry blossoms and the production of cultivars have developed historically in Japan. Many of the cherry trees currently enjoyed for cherry blossom viewing are not wild species but cultivar, because cherry trees have a mutable trait. Many cultivars have been created for cherry blossom viewing, especially in Japan. Since the Heian period, I don't know if I pronounced this well, Heian period, the Japanese have produced many cultivars by selecting superior or mutant individuals that were born from natural crossings of wild cherry trees, or by crossing them artificially, and then breeding them by grafting and cutting, and so on, which grow naturally in Japan, are easy to mutate, and especially Ushima cherry, which is an endemic species in Japan, tend to mutate into double-flowered, grow fast, have many large flowers, and have a strong fragrance. Therefore, Ushima cherry has produced many sakura called Satu Zakura group as a base of cultivars because of its favorable characteristics. The representative cultivars whose parent species is Ushima cherry are Yoshino cherry and Kanzan. Yoshino cherries are actively planted in Asian countries, and Kanzan is actively planted in Western countries. In Europe, from the late 19th century to the early 20th century, Collingwood Ingram, an Englishman, collected and studied Japanese cherry blossoms and created various ornamental cultivars, and the culture of cherry blossom viewing began to spread. In the United States, cherry blossom viewing began to spread after Japan presented cherry blossoms as a token of friendship in 1912. So, in Japan, cherry blossoms symbolize clouds due to their nature of blooming in mass, besides being an enduring metaphor for the ephemeral nature of life, an aspect of Japanese cultural tradition that is often associated with Buddhist influence, and which is embodied in the concept of mono no aware. The association of the cherry blossom with mono no aware dates back to the 18th century scholar Muturi Norinaga. The transience of the blossoms, the exquisite beauty and volatility has often been associated with mortality, and graceful and readily acceptance of destiny and karma. For this reason, cherry blossoms are richly symbolic and have been utilized often in Japanese art, manga, anime, and film, as well as at musical performances for ambient effect. There is at least one popular folk song originally meant for the shakuhachi or bamboo flute titled Sakura, and several pop songs. The flower is also represented on all manner of consumer goods in Japan, including kimono, stationery, and dishware. The Sakura-kai or Cherry Blossom Society was the name chosen by young officers with the Imperial Japanese Army in September 1930 for their secret society established with the goal of reorganizing the state along totalitarian militaristic lines via a military coup d'etat if necessary. During World War II, the cherry blossom was used to motivate the Japanese people to stoke nationalism and militarism among the populace. Even prior to the war, they were used in propaganda to inspire Japanese spirit, as in the Song of Young Japan, exulting in warriors who were ready like the myriad cherry blossoms to scatter. In 1932, Akiku Yazano's poetry urged Japanese soldiers to endure suffering in China and compared the dead soldiers to cherry blossoms. Arguments that the plans for the Battle of Leyte Gulf involving all Japanese ships would expose Japan to serious danger if they failed were countered with the plea that the Navy be permitted to bloom as flowers of death. The last message of the forces on Peleliu was Sakura cherry blossoms. Japanese pilots would paint them on the sides of their planes before embarking on a suicide mission or even take branches of the trees with them on their mission. A cherry blossom painted on the side of the bomber symbolized the intensity and ephemerality of life. In this way, the aesthetic association was altered such that falling cherry petals came to represent the sacrifice of youth in suicide missions to honor the emperor. The first kamikaze unit had a subunit called yaezakura or wild cherry blossom. The government even encouraged the people to believe that the souls of downed warriors were reincarnated in the blossoms. In its colonial enterprises, Imperial Japan often planted cherry trees as a means of claiming occupied territory as Japanese space. Cherry blossoms are a prevalent symbol in irezumi, the traditional art of Japanese tattoos. In tattoo art, cherry blossoms are often combined with other classic Japanese symbols like koi fish, dragons, or tigers. It was later used for the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics mascot Somaiti. So that's a little bit of history about this kind of tree, cherry blossom.
Yesterday's dreams are now reality. Yesterday's dreams make us feel happy. Yesterday's dreams gave us a story. Yesterday's dreams are now our legacy. Yesterday's dreams molded our destiny. Yesterday's dreams set our spirits free. Yesterday's dreams made our vision clear. Yesterday's dreams are now our precious treasures. 'Cause we are one, united by one vision. We are one, united by one spirit. We move on, we lift one's burdens. We move on with God to guide us. We move on to fulfill a mission. We move on and set illusions to reality. 'Cause we are one.
Thank you guys for watching this channel. And please don't forget to like and subscribe para lagi kayong updated sa aking mga videos. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.